just insane. I got a high five from Russ.
Excited to see Russell Wilson for the first time practicing as a Bronco.
Today was about the Broncos. Almost everyone came out for one person.
I'd like to see Russell Wilson. I'm excited to see him and what he's got to bring to the team.
Russell Wilson may be the star, but it will take a full team effort to compete for the Lombardi Trophy. We'll take you live to the UC Health Training Facility with day one of training camp wrapped up.
A grieving family questions long 911 wait times after a mother was killed by a stray bullet.
Nobody on the other side should be saying, let me change you to a different line or let me dispatch you to a different department.
Police worry it could be a hard problem to fix.
It's no secret that the Denver Police Department has about 150 fewer officers than we did just a couple of years ago.
Well, thank you very much for watching Denver 7 News at 6 tonight. I'm Shannon Ogden.
I'm Ann Trujillo, and we have clear skies right now, but storms will be building overnight with heavy rain.
Right to meteorologist Stacey Donaldson. I just heard an alarm go off back there, Stacey.
Once the alarms start, we know we have something. Well, we have a severe thunderstorm warning up here just north of Greeley until 6:15. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings for this particular cell. And we're expecting more thunderstorm activity here for northeastern Colorado and potentially heavy rainfall here for the Denver area, just like we had last night. So our hourly planner through the rest of this evening, cloudy skies up until about 8 o'clock. Then we see the rain moving on in, and some of these storms could be heavy, just like we saw last night. We have flash flood watches and warnings in effect for tomorrow. No watches and warnings so far here in Denver. These are the severe thunderstorm warnings we're talking about east of Fort Collins and north of Greeley. One just issued until 6:45 with that storm here in Denver. No thunderstorms yet, but we are expecting them in the next couple of hours as a cold front pushes through, which means even more changes, and I'll have those for you coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Stacey. All right, it's time. Broncos football is back at UC Health Training Facility, and the excitement around the team this season is sky high.
This is the most hyped build-up to a season since Peyton Manning was quarterback, and it's all because of one man. There were loud cheers for Russell Wilson. He ran around training camp giving high fives to those in attendance. Russell's wife, singer Sierra, also in attendance today with their 3 kids.
And we were out at training camp all day long to find Broncos country lined up to catch a glimpse of Russell Wilson and the team. And we discovered just how diehard some of these diehard fans are. The fan in line, first fan in line, told us he arrived at 5 p.m. yesterday.
Whoa.
And then he waited all through the rain and the lightning and the overnight wind.
It was rainy. We had a tent for a little bit, but now we make trips and go put everything back away. And, you got to bring a tent, you got to bring, an air mattress, a chair, blankets, hoodies, different outfits.
And I think they moved in. Wow, love that dedication. All right, let's get to sports anchor Lionel Bienvenu. What an exciting day for Broncos fans, Lionel.
Yeah, and I got out here about 8:30 today. Does that count as a diehard? Not quite. But yeah, we keep saying it. It's a dawn of a new day here at Dove Valley at the UC Health Training Center. It's a new era. It's the Russell Wilson era, an elite quarterback for the first time since Peyton Manning retired. And you know what? You could feel it in the first practice of training camp. It was different than the last 6 years. It was loud. It was competitive. There were guys trash talking. There were celebrations after big plays. There was music. The energy, the enthusiasm, it all starts with new head coach Nate Hackett.
Do you see the guy? He jumps on people. He screams every chance he gets. Even the stuff that we don't like as a team, he screams it and makes it seem like it's the most fun thing ever. So it's great to have that energy, have that positive, voice each and every day. And it's going to be good for us when it comes down. Like I said, when the things get hard, he's going to be right there to pick all of us up and make sure we're all on the same page. So it's going to be fun.
Every meeting, every detail is about, every practice meeting, everything we do out here, there's a reason. And so just setting that up, and it's been fun. It's been a joy to work with Coach Hackett. It's been a joy to work with Coach Alton. It's been a joy to work with Coach Kubiak as well. Those guys are brilliant.
There were hugs for everybody today. Well, they're all gone now, so no hugging at this point. But we'll have Troy Rank in just a few minutes, coming up with more with Russell Wilson and Troy later in sports. Right now, let's go back to you guys.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you, Lionel. Now, Broncos single game tickets go on sale next week. However, there is a chance for you to snag free tickets and a trip to London. I guess sort of free. Denver Broncos charities launched the London raffle today, and it's a one-of-a-kind experience for two. It includes first-class round-trip airfare, accommodations for a 5-night stay in the heart of London, 2 lower-level tickets to the Broncos-Jaguars game on October 30th at Wembley Stadium, and behind-the-scenes access to practice and some London excursions. Tickets start at $50. You can enter at denverbroncos.com/London raffle, or in person during the Broncos preseason games against Dallas on August 13th or against Minnesota August 27th. And we have everything you need to know about Broncos training camp, including details on those single game ticket sales. You'll find it all on thedenverchannel.com.
The family of Ma King says they encountered long 911 wait times when she was shot and killed by a stray bullet in Denver's East Colfax neighborhood. And new for you tonight, Denver 7 has confirmed that cell carriers are working with police to look into those calls. But as Denver 7's CB Cotton reports, finding solutions won't be easy.
There are various stories on this, but it's very clear that there are serious flaws.
Flaws that many in this packed room say they witnessed on the night of July 15th when Ma King died outside of Hidden Brook Apartments. John Win Oo, her son, says he saw the flaws too.
When somebody's calling about saying my mother got shot in the head, nobody on the other side should be saying, let me change you to a different line.
Oo says he and others called 911 but were placed on hold or hung up on, a claim denied by all 911 agencies. But during a community meeting on Wednesday, Oo and others still demanded more from the first responders who sat alongside them.
You should be hearing those sirens in seconds.
Kind of sad because when calling 911 or trying to get help over here, we get hung up on. No one answers our calls. And, you know, we'll flag down an officer driving down the street, they'll keep going.
All 911 calls the night Ma King died should have gone straight to Denver, but because the apartment complex borders Aurora, some calls pinged off the closest cell tower in Aurora. But Denver's 911 director, Andrew Dameron, says it didn't delay emergency crews.
When Aurora got that first 911 call, they got a little bit of information, then initiated the transfer. When they heard the hold message, they got on the radio and gave us a heads up.
Denver 911 says that radio call allowed officers and EMS to arrive on scene in about 5 minutes. But Dameron says he knows people want their calls to go straight to where they need to go.
911 as an industry is already pushing the FCC to mandate location-based routing, which means when you dial 911, your call is routed based on the location of your mobile device.
In the meantime, community members also want increased police patrols.
You guys gonna leave again, do nothing about it until there's another death?
And Denver Police Chief Paul Pazin says he wants to address the concerns.
Certainly, we will figure out different approaches to try to get more patrol over here. But when you don't have 150 officers, it makes it very difficult to deploy the number of police officers that we feel is necessary in a particular community.
In Denver, I'm CB Cotton, Denver 7.
Candidates requesting a recount of election results have until tomorrow to submit payment to the Secretary of State's office. The list includes 5 candidates, including election deniers Ron Hanks and Tina Peters. A request for recounts were submitted yesterday. Tina Peters' office said they have raised the $230,000 necessary for a recount, but the Secretary of State's office says they were forced to raise that price to $255,000 because some of the work will have to be done over the weekend to meet the timeline required by state statute, and that will require additional help. The Secretary of State's office says if payments are fulfilled tomorrow, elections would be recounted as they originally were and not by hand. All recounts would have to be finished by next Thursday.
Mobile homes are the largest form of unsubsidized affordable housing in the U.S. They're also becoming increasingly unaffordable. Denver 7's Megan Lopez shows us what state and local officials are doing about it.
For a long time, mobile home parks have been the state's largest source of unsubsidized affordable housing. It's the type of home
that I would not be able to be a stay-at-home mom and do things like this if we had to live in another place.
Sam Stegner and her family can afford to live their American dream in. Lately, though, her home and many others have become increasingly unaffordable. Rent keeps going up.
You're paying your lot rent, then you have a house payment on top of that. You have utilities. How is $1,000 a month affordable before a house payment?
And the majority of these lots, or about 90,000 of Colorado's 130,000, are owned by out-of-state corporate investors.
The phrase is often used that mobile home park residents own half the American dream. They own their home, but not the land that home sits on.
Over the past few legislative sessions, state lawmakers have added more protections for these parks, making it easier for residents to come together to buy the parks, creating a revolving loan fund to help in that effort, and they've added more tenant protections.
I think what we've realized pretty quickly is just how imbalanced the power structure is.
Representative Andrew Bosnicker says it's gone a long way to helping, but there's still a long way to go.
Some of the big pieces of the puzzle that remain are zoning, incentivizing zoning to make sure that we protect residents.
The city of Denver,
how we either designate or zone mobile home parks,
recently started looking at its own zoning after it realized its codes make things difficult.
Mobile home parks in our code are not allowed to expand, so replacing an old unit with a new unit would be considered expansion.
Denver residents can't use Colorado's new laws because of the city's zoning codes. Aurora and Fort Collins are also considering changes. Both local and state officials know how important it is to protect this type of housing.
You know, once you lose affordable housing, you couldn't afford to get it back even if you could find the land to put it on.
As for Sam,
one of the things that I feel is missing is some of the enforcement pieces. They have good laws in place. They just did this new round of new protections for us.
And she'd like to see something done to stop big rent increases. For now, she'll keep fighting to keep these homes affordable.
Once they get priced out, where are they going to go?
In Fort Collins, Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
She may be a long way from her home country.
I was sure that we are leaving our home like for a few days, but now it's 5 months.
But a local hospital is making this new mom feel at home.
The nurses just were so excited that they could make a happy moment in her really difficult journey.